lovely light we've seen. No, I won't
Good morning and welcome to
be
the
afraid.
2015 Service Awards ceremony today. Today marks the 42nd year of honoring employees for their service to Cal Poly Pomona, and I thank you all for being here. If you are a recipient, get ready for instructions. They'll be coming shortly. But in the meantime, at this time, please allow me to recognize, oh wait. Somebody changed my speech. Welcome to the start of fall. Thank you, everybody. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce the President of Staff Council, Rachel Dominguez.
Okay, here we are again. Well, like I mentioned earlier, Service Awards is one of our first events, one of the first events Staff Council hosts for the new academic year. And this is one of my favorites because we get to see all of the people who have dedicated their years of service to Cal Poly Pomona. What I want to say before we get started is I want to just acknowledge the three main people that put all this together. And that is Penny Foti, Sarah Della Parra, and Bernadette Jeffries. They were the core of this whole event. It takes a lot, and they had a lot of help. So that being said, we want to get this going. I'd like to ask Dr. Coley to come up to say a few words.
Thank you, Rachel. The quality of an institution is not just what it produces or who it serves, but it's also whether or not it indicates a value of the people who are part of that institution, whether or not we recognize the years of toil, the years of sacrifices, the years of trying to get it right in incredible circumstances. And so I am just so proud to be a part of this ceremony that recognizes those individuals who have given their time, who've given their commitment, who've given the passion and sense of purpose towards our ideal of supporting student success. Again, as I mentioned earlier, student success is everyone's job, but it's not sufficient for us to just applaud our wonderful students. It's also important that we applaud ourselves. And so again, I welcome you. I thank you. I thank Staff Council for their role in this. And let's get started. They have positioned me. I know where I'm supposed to stand. And so I think we're ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel and Dr. Coley. I think this is my favorite part of Staff Council because it's the one time I get to tell the president what to do. Well, good morning, and let me start this over again. I'm Penny Foti from the College of Agriculture, and I am chair of this year's Service Awards Committee, and I feel so honored participating in this event. At this time, I'd like to recognize some people that have made this all possible. This is something that starts several months ago in collecting of the names and everything, and as Rachel alluded, Sarah and Bernadette have been very instrumental in helping. I also like to thank Rachel Dominguez for her part in allowing us to do this and helping and keeping us on the straight and narrow for it. And Ann McLaughlin and Foundation for preparing all the letters for the recipients. Imran Hamid, apologize if I said it wrong, in INIT, Nora Fernandez and Foundation, Barb Bean and the Credit Union, and ASI for their assistance in collecting the names and the service years. And a special acknowledgement to Jane Self and Mary Martinez and Payroll Services for confirming everything for us. And also Dr. And a special thank you to Dr. Coley and her wonderful staff, University Payroll Services, Cal Poly Pomona Foundation, and Instructional and Information Technology. This ceremony began in 1973 and expresses the campus community's appreciation of its staff and faculty employees for their many years of service. Staff Council has been doing this all this time and is privileged to continue doing so. In addition to the service award pin that each recipient will receive, they'll also receive a certificate from Cal Poly Pomona Foundation awarding them $1 in Bronco bucks for their put on their card for each year of service. And I'd like to remind everybody that there is a deadline on the thing, 30 days to get it turned into Foundation. Thank you, Foundation, for this, though. All right, now I'm down to business. Today, we are honoring, or have the opportunity to honor, 296 fellow employees, our largest group ever, and that is 71 more than last year. We have one employee with 45 years of service, 3 with 40 years of service, 10 with 35, 25 employees with 30 years, 31 employees with 25 years, 33 with 20 years of service, 91 employees getting 15 years of service. Just wait. 102 that have been here for 10 years. Collectively, this represents a total of 5,080 years of service to Cal Poly Pomona. Congratulations to all of you. Now, recipients, on your right is a lovely lady, Bernadette Jeffries there. She will be holding up cards announcing for when you're supposed to come over there and get lined up. Inside the envelopes you received is a little reader card. There is a red number on there that tells you in what number order you have to go, so we don't want to stress anybody out knowing the alphabet. We already did it for you. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the 40, 35, and 30-year employees, if you want to go ahead and get started and lined up. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Eric Davis, instructional designer for e-learning. Eric and a surprise guest will be announcing our recipients' names and reading biographies received for 30-plus years of service. Also on stage helping with the presentation of pins is Dr. Coley, University President, Dr. Sylvia Alva, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Mr. John McGuthrie, Vice President, Information Technology and CIO. Let me know if you haven't heard these names before. Mr. Paul Story, Executive Director of Foundation, and Dr. Bedford McIntosh, Vice President of University Advancement, and Dr. I told you I was going to say doctor. I just upgraded him. And Dr. Kathleen Strait. Thank you very much for helping us this year. And now, let us begin. And assisting in the presentation of the pins to recipients of 40, 35, and 30 years is Dr. Soraya Coley. From 1976 to 79, he was a member of the technical staff at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, where he worked on the Deep Space Network. While working in industry, first at Allman Instruments and then at EG&G Power Systems, he returned to campus as a lecturer, becoming an associate professor in 1988. Professor Masudi is a licensed professional engineer in California, has published 3 papers, and authored 1 patent. He has supported the electrical and computer engineering department through his teaching, commitment to his students, service on many department committees, and as assistant or associate chair from 1988 to 2012. He served as interim chair from January to June of 2013. In 2012, he endowed a scholarship for ECE students in loving memory of his beloved late wife, Parda. Congratulations.
Rolando Villanueva, 40 years. Ron Villanueva is responsible for the maintenance of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning equipment in 25% of the buildings on campus. Personal thank you. His hand-on skills and craftsmanship are of high quality, and his responsibilities are vital to Cal Poly students, faculty, and staff. Ron was hired by facility management in 1975 as a grounds worker. After a few months, he began working as a facilities worker in the maintenance shop. He has also worked in the electrical shop before transferring to HVAC, where the majority of his work at Cal Poly took place. In 2001, Ron was promoted to maintenance mechanic and began developing the knowledge and skills that led to his promotion to building service engineer earlier this year. In 1978, Ron was part of the physical plant team that won the intramural basketball championship against Cal Poly football players. When he's not working, Ron enjoys sports and spending time with his family. Ron Villanueva, thank you for 40 years.
It is with pleasure that we now introduce the dedicated employees with 35 years of service behind them. Cheryl Adams, Accounting Services, thank you very much for your years of service.
Douglas Johnson, 35 years. Doug Johnson was hired by the physics department in the fall of 1979. After working 11 years in the lower division physics lab, he was reassigned to support the upper division labs and lectures. Since then, his talent in designing and fabricating lecture demonstrations and laboratory apparatus has enhanced our physics instruction here at Cal Poly Pomona for the past 24 years. Professionally, Doug has been very active in physics education. In 1993, he founded the Southern California Physics Technician Association. This group of physics technicians has met twice a year at different universities ever since. He did not provide support, networking, and enrichment opportunities for physics technical staff in Southern California. He has also served as president of the National Physics Instructional Resource Association and is well known among his peers on a local and national level. Doug received the Cal Poly Campus Outstanding Staff Award in 1992 and received the annual College of Science Outstanding Staff Award in 2003. Doug recently commented, "It truly has been a privilege to work with the great people here at Cal Poly for so many years." Today, Doug is also receiving the Provost Award Staff Member of the Year for 2014. Along with a certificate outlining the award, Doug will also receive a $100 gift card to the restaurant and Kellogg Ranch and free parking for 1 year. Doug, thank you for 35 years.
Rochelle Lucera, 35 years at University Advancement. Thank you, Rochelle, for your years of service.
Terry Schneck, 35 years, Facility Management Administrative Services.
It is now a pleasure to introduce the steadfast employees that have completed 30 years of service. Ali Ahmadi Aerospace Engineering. Dr. Ahmadi has a BS from Cal Poly Pomona and an MS and a PhD from MIT, all in aerospace engineering. A lot of acronym. After 5 years of BBN Inc. in Boston, he joined Cal Poly Pomona in the Department of Aerospace Engineering in 1985, and in 3 years he received early tenure and promoted to professor. In 2003, he was appointed interim chair, and in 2005, he was elected as the department chair, a position he continues to hold to this day. From 1986 to 2002, and since 2007, he has served as coordinator of the MS in Aeronautics Aerospace, awarding over 130 master's degrees so far. Ali has taught over 15 aerospace courses and has performed sponsored research for NASA and the U.S. Air Force. He has been published in journals and presented at professional conferences. In 2009, he received an Excellence in Teaching Award from Northrop Grumman and a 2010 a Faculty Award from Lockheed Martin. As the department leader, he shepherded a $5 million award to the College for Design and installation of subsonic and supersonic wind tunnels, as well as upgrades of 8 other aerospace labs. Since 2007, he has helped hire 6 excellent full-time faculty and staff. He loves working with his colleagues and mentoring young men and women. Congratulations, Dr. Ahmadi, for 30 years.
Michael Candelaria, Procurement and Support Services, 30 years. Michael Candelaria started with Cal Poly on October 1st, 1985, as a custodian at Kellogg West. In 1988, Michael moved to Distribution Services as a mail clerk until August 2008, when he accepted the position of Property Clerk 2 in Asset Management. In this position, Mike has been conducting the inventory for the entire campus on an annual basis. Mike also assists with picking up surveyed assets, tagging of campus assets, and assisting the property officer with day-to-day operations of the department. Michael has been and continues to be a valuable asset to the campus, working with property designees with any issues that arise with assets. Michael was recognized as Staff Member of the Year in 2008 for his selfless service to the students, staff, and faculty of Cal Poly. Michael has also served on active duty in the Marine Corps for 7 years and 3 additional years in the Marine Corps Reserves. Michael was stationed in Beirut, Lebanon during the bombing of the Marine barracks in 1983. Michael has served his country for a total of 10 years as a Marine, and now we honor Michael for his 30 years of service to Cal Poly Pomona. Thank you, Michael.
John Chan, Biological Sciences. From 1985 to the present, Dr. John Chan, professor, has served in the Biological Sciences Department, College of Science, with distinction. Dr. Chan personifies the model faculty member. As an instructor and advisor, Dr. Chan inspires students with his devotion to their success. Through his advising of student clubs and societies and his interactions with students, Dr. Chan has touched numerous lives. His devotion to students was recognized in 2007 when he was named the College of Science Outstanding Academic Advisor. Dr. Chan's efforts for his students even resulted in the establishment of the 4x4 linkage program with Western University of Health Sciences, allowing Cal Poly Pomona pre-professional students to enter Western's programs in medicine and pharmacy directly after graduation. As an investigator, Dr. Chan is creative. He has mentored many students in research and collaborated with chemistry faculty to investigate the effects of smoking on diabetes, which received international media coverage. As a colleague, Dr. Chan is exemplary. He has served on or chaired many important departmental committees. In addition, he currently serves on the URTPC and recently served as an academic senator. Dr. Chan's quick sense of humor, infectious laugh, and caring attitude have made him a favorite among his colleagues and students alike. Congratulations, Dr. Chan.
Gloria Concha, financial aid and scholarships, 30 years. Gloria Concha began her career here at Cal Poly Pomona 30 years ago as a part-time employee in the education department, beginning as a student assistant, then being hired as a temporary employee. She has held positions in procurement, admissions, and records, and finally landed in financial aid. Gloria began in financial aid as a student service front counter representative and has worked her way up to the counselor position. She has administered several programs over the years and is currently responsible for the DREAM Act and Veterans programs. Gloria's love for students and the Cal Poly Pomona family is what drives her to do her very best. She loves the student contact and enjoys being able to help them navigate the waters through their educational career. Gloria is passionate about her work and is committed to providing quality service to the students she serves. Gloria, thank you for 30 years.
Rebecca Cutler. Student Support and Equity Programs. Rebecca began her journey at Cal Poly Pomona in March of '85 when she was hired as a part-time EOP advisor. Her plan was to work on her master's degree and move on to new adventures in counseling. She never intended to be here more than 3 years, but Cal Poly Pomona quickly found its way into her heart. Her passion for working with first-generation, low-income students derives from her personal experience as a first-generation college student. She found her niche in the Educational Opportunity Program, assisting undeclared majors explore and choose majors which would lead them to a successful career upon graduation. She also serves as the SSEP liaison to the College of Engineering and has assisted many EOP engineering majors in accomplishing their goal of earning a bachelor's degree. She has served as staff representative in the Latino Faculty, Staff, and Student Association and was an active participant on the Cal Poly Pomona Women's Council. Rebecca lives in Ontario, California with her husband and 3 children, 2 of which are also Cal Poly Pomona graduates. Congratulations, Rebecca.
Annie Ferran, Civil Engineering, thank you for your 30 years.
Douglas Glazer, Governmental and External Affairs. Over the last 30 years, Doug Glazer has been both a faculty member in the Department of Political Science and has served as the Director of Governmental Affairs under the purview of 3 university presidents, making a difference in the lives of our students, alumni, and the campus community. In his role as Director of Governmental Affairs, Doug has made countless trips to Washington, D.C. and Sacramento, where he has successfully worked with elected officials and government agencies to advocate for the university on behalf of our students, faculty, and staff, monitoring legislative activity at the local, state, and federal level. Through his hard work and connections, he has been able to position the university to receive funding through grants, and he has helped to create opportunities for student internships. Anytime a local legislator has come to campus for a meeting, tour, or visit, it has been meticulously coordinated by Doug. His attention to detail and knowledge of all things, including but not limited to bills, bond measures, and budget issues, have made Doug a valuable part of Cal Poly Pomona for 30 years. Thank you, Doug.
Stephen McCauley, Physics, 30 years. After a PhD in physics from UC Santa Cruz and a postdoc at UC Berkeley Botany Department, Dr. Stephen McCauley came to campus as a biophysicist in fall 1985. Dr. McCauley has taught a wide spectrum of physics classes and supervised many student projects, ranging from acoustic lensing to autocatalysis and the zombie protein. Cool. He has received fellowships from the state of California, NATO, and American Society for Engineering Education, and obtained several grants from NSF. He recently helped organize a national conference of physics department chairs. This included congressional visits and running a workshop for new chairs so they could learn from his mistakes. He organized the department's first endowed scholarship. He has worked to implement a 1980 WASC recommendation that created more seats for students in high-demand physics classes while lowering costs and providing reassigned time for the instructors. Baccalaureate physics programs nationally average only 2 or 3 graduates annually, but with a departmental focus on student success, the CPP physics program has been averaging 20 graduates and expects 30 in 2016. Dr. McCauley feels privileged to have worked for 3 decades with a dedicated faculty and staff in the Department of Physics and Astronomy. Thank you, Dr. Stephen McCauley, for 30 years.
Sun Fan, College of Engineering Dean's Office. Mr. Sun Fan is a Cal Poly Pomona alumnus, receiving both his undergraduate and graduate degrees from the Cal Poly Pomona College of Engineering. From the beginning of his tenure as a staff member, he spearheaded all facets of IT systems. He successfully created and maintained the first local area network on this campus. His involvement in many multidisciplined research tasks prompted several successful internal and external funding projects. Due to his outstanding understanding of the diverse engineering disciplines, his professional cooperative nature, and his great tenacity of purpose, the engineered students, faculty, and staff continue to benefit from the rigorous IT infrastructure designed and implemented by him and his team. As the Dean of the College of Engineering attests, Mr. Fan is an outstanding example of a Cal Poly Pomona engineer. Sun is an invaluable member of the Dean's leadership team. His inspiration and enthusiasm for contemporary technology spans the entire campus, though frequently behind the scene. As an example, the web-based academic room search is one of his contributions to the university community. Thank you, Mr. Sun Fan, for your 30 years.
Maria Rivera Duncan, Student Support and Equity Programs, 30 years. Maria began her career at Cal Poly Pomona in 1985 in admissions. She has worked in several departments that have expanded her knowledge of the various aspects of the university and has been fortunate to work with faculty, staff, and administrators throughout the 30 years. While in affirmative action, she was fortunate to be one of the collaborators with the Women's Resource Center in presenting the initial sexual harassment training, which were held on campus through in-person workshops. She returned to student affairs and worked in admissions and outreach, coordinating various components of admissions. The valuable experience gained from the various roles prepared Maria for her responsibilities in SSEP as an academic advisor and currently coordinating the outreach, admissions, and enrollment of EOP students. It has been an honor and privilege for Maria to serve the students of Cal Poly Pomona, guiding them through the pre-admissions advising, through the admissions process, and now working in an area which sees the students through to graduation. She feels fortunate to work with such a delightful staff in SSEP with the direction of Letitia Guzman-Scott, who always work together as a team for the sake of the students SSEP serves. Thank you, Maria Rivera Duncan, for 30 years.
Juan Robledo, Agriculture, 30 years. Thank you very much, Juan, for your dedicated 30 years.
Lisa Rutuni, Institutional Research and Academic Resources. Thank you, Lisa, for 30 years.
Mansour Sharif Zadeh.
Now go get your pen. Congratulations. You did a great job. You're hired.
Ann Shedden, Mathematics and Statistics, 30 years. Mrs. Ann Shedden has done an excellent job of teaching general education level mathematics courses and mathematics education courses as a lecturer in the Mathematics and Statistics Department at Cal Poly Pomona for over 30 years. Her teaching contributions in preparing future teachers are particularly valued and appreciated by the department, as well as her colleagues in mathematics education. Mrs. Shedden earned her master's degree in mathematics from Cal Poly Pomona in 1991. Lecturer Shedden deserves special recognition for her steadfast and energetic support and promotion of the Gift of Numbers program over many years. This exciting program connects the Cal Poly Pomona students who are interested in becoming teachers with students attending the local community schools by creating a festival of enticing mathematical activities, puzzles, and games. Mrs. Ann Shedden, thank you again for 30 years.
Mary Stegman, Kinesiology and Health Promotion, thank you for your 30 years.
Bruce Wilson, University Police. Thank you, Bruce, for your 30 years.
Assisting, hold on, please, hold on. Back. Assisting in the presentation of the pins to recipients of 25 years is Dr. Sylvia Alva, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Now let us introduce the loyal employees that will receive their pins for 25 years of service. Oh, she already said it. Holly Alexic, Parking and Transportation Services.
Deborah Brazil, Management and Human Resources. Thank you, Deborah, for your 25 years.
Manuel Gaeta, ASI.
Philip Gazanfari, Finance, Real Estate, and Law, 25 years.
Sharon Hillis, College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences.
Marjorie Jones, Collins College of Hospitality Management.
Iris Levine, Music.
Leah Monske, Student Support and Equity Programs.
Kathleen Payan, Office of Admissions and Outreach.
Amanda Padani, History.
Edna Kichocho, College of Environmental Design, Dean's Office.
Karen Romo, University Library.
Juanita Rojas, International Business and Marketing.
Daisy Singh, Computer Science.
Paul Steele, Landscape Services.
Sharon Swartreiter, Human Resources Services.
Lynn Wu, Geography and Anthropology.
Lan Yang, Computer Science.
Antonia Young, Student Health Services.
Assisting in the presentation of the pins to recipients of 20 years is John McGuthrie, Vice President and CIO, Division of Information Technology. Please allow us to introduce the dependable employees that will receive their pins for 20 years of service. Barbara Bean, Credit Union.
Bonnie Burns Whitmore, Human Nutrition and Food Science.
Gilbert Cadena, Ethnic and Women's Studies.
Joseph Gallegos, ASI.
Michael Godfrey, Collins College of Hospitality Management.
Holly Green, Equine Research Center.
Ellen Gwynn, Kellogg West Dining.
Richard Callan, Communication.
Christopher Landay, Foundation Facilities.
Daniel Lewis, College Letters, Arts and Social Sciences.
Lita Patel, Mechanical Engineering.
Francine Ramirez, President's Office.
Lori Rhodes, College of Letters, Arts and Social Sciences.
Ready? Paul Story, Foundation.
Clifford Stover, College of Engineering, Dean's Office.
Kathleen Street, Enrollment Services, and a new AVP for Student Services.
Elizabeth Voles, Disability Resource Center.
Tamber Williams, Public Affairs.
We now begin our announcements for the 15 years of service. Assisting in presentation of the pins to recipients of 15 years is G. Paul Story, Executive Director, Foundation. We now present to you the reliable employees that will receive their pins for 15 years of service. First, Pamela Adams, College of Business, Dean's Office.
Robert Baltiera, Campus Center.
Camille Best, University Library.
Sandra Buffalini, Human Resources.
Yvonne Cabezas, ASI.
Jerry Chesser, Collins College of Hospitality Management.
Rose Queller, Los Olivos.
Charles DiCarlo, Landscape Services.
Sep Eskandari, Biological Sciences.
Mikhail Kirschfeld, Civil Engineering.
Hen Gillielaway, Interdisciplinary General Education.
Christina Gomez, Facilities Planning.
Mario Gattuso Jr., Department of Education.
Alicia Hernandez, Dining Services.
Angelica Hernandez, Human Resources.
Link Hoke, College of Environmental Design, Dean's Office.
Donna Holman, University Advancement.
Scott Holmquist, Academic Technology, IT Division.
Nita Johnson, Maximizing Engineering Program.
Thomas Law, KW Dining.
Lisa Lee, Department of Education.
Michael Liang, Kinesiology and Health Promotion.
Wei Zhen Lin, Biological Sciences.
Luther Manzano, College of Agriculture.
Ed Merritt, Collins College of Hospitality Management.
Sarah Meyer, Art Department.
Dora Marira, Facilities Management Custodial Services.
Ramona Neri, Student Health Services.
Don Pan, English and Foreign Languages.
Jeanette Paredes, Kellogg West Conference Center.
Lori Riggs, C. Maston Math Department, College of Science.
Janine Riveri, Music.
Dean Swick, Art Department.
Tui Taylor, Human Resources.
Laura Valdez, International Center.
Paul Velasco, ASI.
Francisco Vitella, Facilities Management Custodial Services.
Christina Yanez, Facilities Management Custodial Services.
Susan Yates, Facilities Management.
Arnold Zavalza, Los Olivos.
Alma Centeno, Biological Sciences.
Congratulations to those for 15 years. Now assisting in the presentation of pins to recipient of 10 years is Mr. Bedford McIntosh, Vice President, Division of University Advancement. Please join us as we present to you the enthusiastic employees receiving their pins for 10 years of service. Gabriela Avia, Student Support and Equity Programs.
John Caffrey, Mechanical Engineering.
Patricia Duran, Arches.
Melvin Galong, ASI.
Deborah Gillespie, Office of Admissions and Outreach.
Angelique Hernandez, Foundation.
Kathy Hine, Institutional Research and Academic Resources.
Tariq Hossein, International Business and Marketing.
Raymond Camp, Art Department.
Rocio Kessler, ASI.
Ronnie Kushlani, Facilities Management, University Utilities.
Sarah Lorenzen, Architecture.
Sylvia Medina, KW Dining.
Shelton Marinda, Animal and Veterinary Sciences.
Jacqueline Natividad, Business Services Housing.
Kang Nguyen, Enterprise Applications.
Pio Ortega, Registrars.
Sherry Peters, Career Center.
Lynn Redmond, Registrar.
Ertan Salik, Physics.
One of my favorite bosses, Brock Sandelin, Animal and Veterinary Sciences.
Julie Shen, University Library.
Brian Swanson, Athletics.
Tierney Tate, Graphic Communications.
Morris Taylor, Facilities Design and Construction.
Celeste Cerro, Tercero, Student Health Services.
Brenda Verdugo, Dining Services.
Loretta Villanueva, Academic Technology.
Sorry, Randy, you got to follow that. Randy Wallace, Foundation Real Estate.
Ronald Young, Civil Engineering.
At this time, I'd like to give a special thanks to all the presenters and helpers, as well as Eric Davis for his excellent job in announcing. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you very much for attending, and I look forward to many more years of working with everyone.